Sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man Pots and Pans, what's the deal? You kicking with KCMC, appreciate it. Couple topics we got to talk about, starting off with the NBA. This comes from NBCMiami.com. A former Miami Heat security worker and retired Miami police officer has been charged in a massive memorabilia theft that involved millions of dollars worth of game-used jerseys and other items, authorities said. Marcos Thomas Perez, 62 years old, is charged with transporting and transferring stolen goods in interstate commerce following an FBI investigation, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida said on Tuesday. Perez, a retired 25-year veteran of the Miami Police Department, is accused of stealing jerseys and other memorabilia and selling the items to online brokers. Perez worked for the Heat from 2016 to 2021 and also worked as an NBA security employee from 2022 to 2025. During that time, Perez assessed a secured equipment room at Kaseya Center multiple times, or Kaseya, whatever, stealing over 400 game-worn jerseys and other items. 400 game-worn jerseys. The items were being kept by the team for a future Miami Heat museum. Over a 3-year period, Perez sold over 100 stolen items for about $2 million, often selling them at prices well below market value. In one case, he sold a game-worn LeBron James Miami Heat NBA Finals jersey for approximately $100,000. The same jersey later sold at an auction for $3.7 million. April 3rd, law enforcement executed a search warrant at Perez's home and seized nearly 300 additional stolen game-worn jerseys and memorabilia, which the Heat confirmed had been stolen from their facility. We got a quote. It says, quote, "As it was described to me, this is one of the largest, if not the largest, memorabilia heist in the history of the country in any sport," end quote. Amin El Hassan said on the Dale LeBatard show. Dang. Game-worn LeBron James Miami Heat NBA Finals jersey. That's probably the pinnacle besides a Jordan jersey at this time. And this guy sold it for about, they said around $100 million, so he might have sold it for less. But they sold it online for $3.7 million. Oh my God. What's that, like a 30x investment come up? Plus, bruh, a police officer, a retired police officer, who everybody trusted, had a lot of faith. Now, if he did dirty as a security guard for the Miami Heat, what do you think he did as a police officer? That's what I want. For 25 years, what do you think he was doing there with that authority? So this, I hate to, I don't want to accuse him of nothing, but he's clearly been caught, and he's clearly gonna do some time, and that clearly we should be checking his track record for everything. But to come up, what did they say? He came up a total of $2 million. 3-year period, he sold over 100 items for about $2 million. Man, you should have been getting them off way low. It say they were missing about 400 pieces of memorabilia. He sold 100 and they found about 300. So that's about 400 right there. So in the last 3 years, you only sold 100 items, $2 million worth. I don't know if I said 200 million, but $2 million worth. And you still got 300 pieces of stolen memorabilia at your house? You deserve to get caught. You deserve to get caught. All right? I think you were moving too slow, to be honest, if you were going to do that. But I don't agree with what you did. And I think not only was he a dirty employee for the Miami Heat, but he probably was a dirty police officer as well. I don't know, but we need to check the record. Let me know what you think about this situation. Is this a good come up? Where did he fail? Where did he go wrong at? Stealing them in general? Keeping them at his house? Let's just keep it real. Keep it real. Let me know what you think you could have did better in that situation. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. All entertainment purposes, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take none of this serious. We're not doing all that on the internet. All right, but we do have more topics we're going to talk about. It's kind of crazy for me to bring this up, so we're just going to try to run through this real quick. All right. This is coming from Yahoo.com, Yahoo Sports. Another adult toy landed near Indiana's Sophie Cunningham after it was thrown from the stands in Los Angeles while the Fever played the Spark on Tuesday night. The incident in Los Angeles occurred with 2 minutes 5 seconds left in the second quarter, with the object landing in the lane near Cunningham, who had been vocal on social media about fans throwing the toys on the court. Kelsey Plum kicked it into the stands. Kicked it into the stands is crazy, dog. Cunningham walked over to the Sparks bench and was laughing about it. According to social media posts, green toys were also thrown in Phoenix and New York, but didn't reach the court. The one at Barclays Center landed near a child. Poor child. Almost had an adult toy either thrown on them or near them. This is literally why I say I don't agree with this. Like it's harassment. Like doing that is harassment for sure. And like we're at a family type of event. I can see if it's an adult event at that. There's kids there. Trust me. If that hits me or my kid, I'm that whole place getting torn upside down. Whole arena. Don't let it hit my kid, fam. So whoever's doing this, please stop doing that. Because for one, you could be injuring somebody. Crazy lawsuit. For two, it's insulting and disrespectful. For three, there's kids there, man. There's kids. Now, what I said a couple episodes ago, in professional sports, you're going to get harassed. You have to learn to ignore the noise and stay focused. Play the game. That's what I would imagine as a professional what you have to do. So with that being said, I don't agree with what they're doing, but or maybe I don't agree with how they're doing it. Either way it go, the harassment from a fan or the fan engagement, not harassment, fan engagement, that is normal in professional sports. But what y'all throwing out there, little adult toy that y'all don't want to say the name of, that's not right, fam. I don't agree with this at all, man. I just want to say that. How do you stop fans from throwing things on the court or the field? What is there to do in professional sports to stop fans from throwing their food, their popcorn, their drink? There's so many instances of players throwing things to players on the court, whether they're going towards the tunnel, the losing team, or whatever the case. How do you stop fans from throwing things on the court? Nets, near the stands, in between the stands and the court and the field, plexiglass. What are we going to do? Let me know your most creative thought towards that. How do you stop fans from throwing things on the court or the field? 313-466-4386. So we're going to move over to the NFL. That's what I got for you. In the NFL, this is coming from NFL.com. The NFL is banning the use of smelling salts during games, saying the products aren't proven to be safe and also could mask the signs of a concussion. NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo obtained a memo the league sent to teams on Tuesday explaining the decision to ban smelling salts and any other ammonia inhalant during pregame activities, games, and halftime on the sideline or locker rooms. We got a quote here. The memo says, quote, in 2024, the FDA issued a warning to companies that produce commercially available ammonia inhalants, also known as AIs, as well as to consumers about the purchase and use of AIS. Regarding a lack of evidence supporting the safety or efficiency of AIS, marketed for improving mental alertness or boosting energy. The FDA noted potential negative effects from AI use. AIs also have the potential to mask certain neurologic signs and symptoms, including some potential signs of a concussion. As a result, the NFL Head, Neck, and Spine Committee recommended prohibiting the use of AIs for any purpose during play in the NFL, end quote. So you got a lot of players in the NFL. You can see behind us, heavily support this, heavily use this. This has been in the NFL for as long as I can remember. I always used to inquire when I see them smelling stuff. What is that they're smelling? And why are they smelling it? What does they do? Are they smelling it? Are they like, I'm thinking like when you putting something to your nose and then you get alert, I'm thinking you doing some type of drugs. Is this a drug? Like, and then for the NFL to just finally ban it off, I guess their research and information from the FDA. We're just not finding this out that it may not be good for you. That's what I hate to hear. Years later, something that we all commonly use for the government or an agency to say, this is actually pretty much one of the worst things you could do for yourself. It's like, what? But anyway, to further explain, in this article, I actually had to look up how can smelling salts mask a concussion. That didn't make sense to me per se, but here's how. Smelling salts contain ammonia, which irritates the nasal passage and lungs, triggering an inhalation reflex. This causes a sharp intake of breath, increases the heart rate and blood pressure, and sends a rush of oxygen to the brain. This is coming from WebMD, by the way. This can only make an injured person feel temporarily more awake and potentially less dizzy, even if a brain injury is present. A person's breathing rate is one of the factors doctors use to assess the severity of a concussion. By increasing the breathing rate, smelling salts could distort this assessment and make it more difficult for healthcare professionals to accurately diagnose and treat the concussion. So this is why, and this is so crazy to me. So now, not only are we in a league where concussions are prevalent, for years, players have been smelling something that can make their concussion be undetected. That's hilarious. It's unfortunate, but that's like something you see in a movie or a TV show. How we missed this, fam? How we missed this, fam? Here's my thing. Are all NFL players going to abide by it? Are all NFL teams going to abide by it? Are we going to get some type of fines? I didn't see anything about a fine in this article. So that's what I'm curious about. Are we getting fines? What's the punishment if we do see players using these smelling salts? What should the punishment be? They're only trying to ban it because the NFL wants to cover their butt when it comes to concussions. They can't have concussed players out here. And players also trying to mask it up, quote unquote. And then something tragic happens on the field. So I get that. Yeah, you got to cover your butt for liability, NFL. But if you've been using it, don't make it seem like you so against it now. Just explain. Yeah, we're sorry. We've been using this for years. We didn't know. We didn't have to research, and we're basing the decision off the FDA. And the FDA, that's a whole nother subject in regards to how that needs to be upgraded. But let me know what you think, though. Go off in the live chat, in the comments, or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Keeping it NFL, dog. Keeping it NFL, dog. Man, what's going on, dog? Man, this is also coming from Yahoo.com. A former NFL player has been convicted for running an operation that bred and trafficked grand champion dogs and their offspring for dogfighting, the Department of Justice said. LeShon Johnson, 54 years old, a former running back for the Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals, and New York Giants, was convicted by a federal jury in Oklahoma on 6 felony counts of violating the Federal Animal Welfare Act's prohibitions against, quote, possessing, selling, transporting, and delivering animals to be used in fighting ventures, end quote, the department said. Following the verdict, the ex-NFLer surrendered 190 dogs, damn, from his Malkant kennels, the largest number ever seized from a single person in a federal dogfighting case. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine up to $250,000 of each count. Johnson had a 2004 state conviction for dogfighting, the Justice Department said. In a federal case against him, Johnson bred and trafficked fighting dogs and their puppies for dogfighting, quote, profiting from the cruel and illegal industry, end quote, evidence presented to the jury showed. Lord have mercy. 190 dogs, bro? What are you doing? Bro, this makes me feel like he's been doing this for a very long time. And he's probably come from this. Now, I'm not using any of that as an excuse, bro. 190 dogs, you wildin', bro. Even if it was 2 dogs. What are you doing, bro? I never liked that. I grew up on the west side of Detroit. I remember seeing people make dogs fight. I hated watching. Bro, we stayed right across the street from a big field from what was formerly the Brooks Middle School in Detroit on the west side on West Chicago. In that field, between my house and the school, it used to be fights. It used to be football games. It used to be dog fights right there. I look out my window, I would see all the action, bro. And I was like, dog, I used to hate seeing it. I used to hate seeing it. He is LeShon Johnson, born in Oklahoma. So he's from the South. And Oklahoma is where he's from, and that's where he got caught up. So I could kind of see dogfighting being part of his nature, but come on, dog. I don't like that. I'm not even a PETA type of person. I'm not a person for equal treatment, and I'm not that. I'm not putting dogs over people, but I'm not trying to force anything or anybody to fight unless you want to. And dogs don't seem like they usually want to. I just don't like this, dog. So, do I agree with the sentencing? 5 years prison, $250,000 per count. I think 5 years is pretty light for doing that, especially having 190 dogs, bro. 5 years is light, if you ask me. I don't know what Mike Vick did. I don't even remember if he did time. If he did, I don't think it definitely wasn't 5 years. He must have did a little bit of time, and he probably got a lot of probation, or he just got a lot of probation right now, long probation. Michael Vick. But bro, this is so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate on so many levels, man. LeShon, black man, I'm not wishing that you go to prison, bro. I'm not wishing that. If you could just get a bunch of fines and some crazy probation, I wouldn't be against that either. Dogfighting is crazy though. Like, yeah, I don't even want to speak on no prison time, man. So, let me know what you think. What should the punishment be for his case in dogfighting? Over 190 dogs caught, seized from his property. Let me know what you think, man. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Shout out to my son. Love you, boy. My son is on my screensaver. All right, another topic. Oh, yeah. Let me just get through this real quick if you don't mind. I got to speak on this because this is my dog in the NFL. My boy Teddy Bridgewater, man. It's from NFL.com. Back in the NFL, veteran quarterback is signing a 1-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after visiting and passing a physical on Tuesday. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported per sources informed of the situation. It's obvious now. This actually came from the Buccaneers website and everything. Starter Baker Mayfield missed the past 2 practices with a hand contusion but returned to on-field work on Tuesday. Kyle Trask, Michael Pratt, and Connor Bazalik round out the quarterback room. The Bucs wanted another arm as Pratt is currently on the physically unable to perform list. Rappaport added that Trask will still back up Mayfield, but Bridgewater will provide depth and a veteran presence in the quarterback room while Pratt is sidelined. Teddy Bridgewater, excuse me. He's 32 years young, by the way. 32 years young. Now, if you don't know, he had a stint around the NFL, the Panthers, the Saints. I believe he went to Miami. I could be wrong. But he was with the Lions last. And I'm going to tell you what, some of the stuff that I've seen him do on some of his other teams, the Saints, the Panthers, and everything, I actually like Teddy Bridgewater. I went to a game before with my family like 2 seasons ago. And this was when we played the Chicago Bears. 2023-2024 season. Played the Chicago Bears at Ford Field, Detroit Lions. I think we had threw like 3 or 4 picks. It was just horrible. We was down most of the game. But then we ended up slow. And at one point we was down. I literally yelled to the crowd or yelled to the coach or yelled to the sideline. Put in Teddy Bridgewater, bro. Jared Goff was looking trash at that time. But then lo and behold, Jared Goff came out of nowhere and helped us win the game last minute. This is when me and my ex was together. She from Chicago. I was so happy to rub that in her face. But what I'm saying is, I actually like Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback. And I definitely liked him as a backup for Detroit. Just in case something happened to Jared Goff, I at least trusted him. To be honest with you. Jared Goff fortunately, he never had any injury that kind of put him out, at least for an extensive amount of time. And it never necessarily got around to Teddy Bridgewater if it did. But I will say I think that the Lions lost a real one. We didn't give them no real clock, which I get it. If you're a backup quarterback, that's what you are. You backup, just in case the quarterback can't show up. You're backup. Okay, so I get it. But other than that, fam, like I don't see why the Lions didn't try to just get him back. What does our backups really look like? The Lions. Like I don't want to get into it, but I just had to show my love, man, for Teddy Bridgewater. Pause. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show 313-466-4386. Another interesting topic that I have. This is going on to a whole nother sport as well. APnews.com, that's the Associated Press. Jen Pawol is set to become the first woman to umpire in Major League Baseball when she works games this weekend between Miami Marlins and Atlanta Braves. Pawol will work the bases in Saturday's doubleheader at Truist Park and the plate on Sunday. MLB told the Associated Press on Wednesday. That's today, by the way. Pawol, a 48-year-old from New Jersey, worked spring training games in 2024 and this year. She will become the 5th umpire to debut this year. MLB's move comes 28 years after the gender barrier for game officials was broken in the NBA. 10 years after the NFL hired its first full-time woman official. And 3 years after the Men's Soccer World Cup employed a female referee. The NHL has still not had any women on ice officials. Pawol in 2024 became the first woman to umpire big league spring training games since Rhea Cortesio in 2007. Cortesio spent 9 years in the minor leagues, including the last 5 in a double-A Southern League, then was released after the 2007 season. So, I guess this is big news in the MLB that they're allowing a woman to referee a men's sport. A part of me just, I don't even see why they haven't been in there. I don't see why women can't at least referee a men's sport. To a certain degree, I can't argue against it. I can. But I don't want to get into that right now. I don't necessarily think that's relevant at this exact point. I think women can't, at the very least, women obviously can't play in men's sport with men, but I don't see you using a non-biased judgment to make a call, especially if you have the eye for it. As long as you can prove you have the eye for it, you passed all the tests that the man does. Why is it not? That just feels like that lets me know that they were almost purposely against women being referees and umpires and officials in these leagues. Like we said, she'll be the first woman umpire in the MLB coming this weekend. The NHL still ain't never had a woman on ice referee yet. So they're still one of the male-dominated, populated sports that seems to be, I don't know. Let me not say that. You read between the lines and let me know what you think about a female, a woman umpire in the major league. First and foremost, congratulations on that history. I don't want to undermine that. Congratulations on that history, first and foremost. But, where do we go from here? It's my only question. Where do we go from here? Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-4386. Of course, we got to wrap it up. Pretty much just talking about the fight of the season. Here we go. It don't have my picture up here. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. This is happening September 13th. Las Vegas, Nevada. On Netflix, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Netflix because, like I said before, I got to change. Give me a second. Shout out to Netflix. Like I said before, I had a subscription. I got my plan for Netflix. Been had it for a while, so definitely looking forward to this fight. I get to watch it with no pay-per-view, none of that other goofy stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. There we go. All right, let me change this back. But yeah, Canelo versus Crawford. I think I already said who I got. I got Crawford if I got to choose. I got Bud, the black one. Him, the guy with the braids. But I also like Canelo too. I want to put that on record. I like both fighters. At the end of the day, you know what I really like more than both of these? I like a knockout. I like the face to be flat on the canvas. Sleep. Hello. 10 count. He's out of there. Gone. I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that ever watching a live boxing match. I don't think I have. Maybe I'm wrong. I've watched the replays, the highlights, and all that on YouTube. Let me see it in real life. Now, do I really think a knockout's gonna happen in this fight? Absolutely not. I think both of them have great chins. I don't think either one of them has been not. Crawford has never lost. Canelo got a few losses. 62, 2-2 with 39 knockouts. Terrence Crawford 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Terrence Crawford got like 75% of his wins coming from knockouts. And Terrence Crawford ain't no slouch either, man. Only 2 losses and 2 draws. So, listen, one of them came from Mayweather. I forgot where the other one came from. I think it was recent, though, with Canelo. But nonetheless, he ain't no slouch. I could actually, you know what, let me say that. I could see this being a trilogy. I could see the first one either being a draw or Bud getting it and it being very, very close and debatable. Then they're going to schedule a 2 with that one being a draw and or Canelo winning. And then we're going to see a third one. I can see it right now. This is a heavyweight a unified super middleweight big fight. This is the Super Bowl of unified super middleweights in boxing. So this is gonna get stretched. Pause. And I'm not against it. Keep all the fights on Netflix though, fam. All the fights on Netflix, fam. And you got my attention as a boxing fan. Let me know what you think. Who you got? Canelo versus Crawford, September 13th. It's happening real soon, baby. It's happening. It's happening. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Appreciate you again for kicking it with KCMC from the stands of a sports fan. We talk about sports from the perspective of the fan in the stands or even at the crib watching on the TV. Either way it go, we don't care about contracts, money, and none of that stuff. What happens on the court or the field is what matters to us. And that's what we talk about, man. Try to talk about your success before I talk about your arrest. But if I do talk about your success, I might get into your arrest as well. But that's just objectively speaking, non-biased speaking. Appreciate you again. If you got this far in the video, hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe button. It's all right there. Go ahead and do that for me right now. We're going to put out a couple clips and some shorts to this video as well. And more good content coming soon, including good quality from the stands of a sports fan video. Oh, that's coming soon, baby. Thank you again for kicking it with KC from the stands. We out.